Long Island City just made StreetEasy's Neighborhoods to Watch list. Third year in a row. Searches for it jumped 43% in a single year. People call it the fastest growing neighborhood in New York City. But that is not the first thing you notice here. Watch. Look at this street. It is clean, not stage clean. This is Center Boulevard on a normal weekday. I've walked a lot of neighborhoods in Queens. This one holds up close. The sidewalks are swept, the plantings are kept, the waterfront edge is maintained end to end. You do not think about that when you are scrolling listing photos. You think about it every single day once you live somewhere. So before we get to the view, that is the first thing I want you to see. I recently listed a one-bedroom at 474 48th Avenue, Unit 29H, 29th floor. That listing is why I have been on this blog so much, and it's how I found out what people mean when they say Long Island City is convenient. You do not get that from a floor plan. You get it from walking out the front door and seeing how little stands between you and the water. 3 questions buyers ask me about this neighborhood every time. The commute, what is actually here besides towels, and whether the monthly cost makes sense. Let me start with the walk in real time. Here's the walk. One take, no cuts from the front door. First thing, look at the sidewalk. It is wide enough that 2 people pass without anyone stepping off. That is a design decision, and you feel it here. The building across from us is the Avalon. That one is rental, not for sale. And the white building coming up is the Queens Public Library, the Hunters Point branch. It is new, and people come from outside the neighborhood just to photograph it. Now, we are at the corner of 48th Avenue and Center Boulevard. 1 minute, 1 second, that is the whole walk. Cross the street and you are at the East River. Manhattan straight across, the water right in front of you, and it's calm out here in a way that surprises people who only know Queens from the highway. This is not a view you go find on a weekend. It is there on a Tuesday morning, on the way to the train, when you are not even looking for it. Question 1. The commute. 2 ways off this waterfront, and they do different jobs. Start with the train. About 7 minutes on foot from the building to the Vernon Boulevard Jackson Avenue station. From that platform, the 7 runs 4 minutes to Grand Central. That is 4 minutes of riding, so add your weight on top. The 7 is worth knowing in the other direction too. It runs deeper into Queens through Sunnyside, Woodside, and Jackson Heights. It takes you to a Mets game, it takes you to the US Open every year, and it ends at Flushing. That is the part people miss. Living here does not just put you next to Manhattan, it puts you on the line that connects most of Queens. Now the ferry, and there are 2 of them. The Astoria route lives from LIC Landing, the dock inside Gantry Plaza State Park. That one runs daily. Going south, it reaches East 34th Street, the Brooklyn, Navy Yard, and Wall Street at Pier 11. Going north, it stops at Roosevelt Island, Astoria, and East 90th Street. The East River route leaves from the second dock, Hunters Point south. That only gets you to Greenpoint, both sides of Williamsburg, Dumbo, and Wall Street. 2 docks, both walkable. Download the New York City Ferry app for schedules and tickets. The ferry is slower than the train for most midtown trips. Take it because you want to be on the water. Question 2. What is actually here? Center Boulevard is the restaurant strip. It runs along the water at the base of the towers. This is where you end up on a Friday night without making a decision about it. There are food trucks parked along here too, close to the building. Small detail, but it tells you something. Truck parks where there is steady foot traffic. This is not a strip that empties out at 6. Groceries food cellar is on Center Boulevard, walkable from the door. That covers the weeknight run. For everything else, walk up to Vernon Boulevard, pharmacy, banks, bakeries, coffee. Vernon is the older commercial spine of Long Island City, and it handles the Errands Center Boulevard does not. 2 streets, 2 jobs. This is Hunters Point branch of the Queens Public Library, one of the most photographed pieces of architecture in Queens, and it sits on Center Boulevard between the 48th Avenue and the water. I'm pointing it out for a practical reason, not an architectural one. A public library a few minutes from your door is free indoor space. It is where you go when you are working from home and the apartment feels small that day. It is where you take a kid on a cold Saturday. Buyers underrate this until they live somewhere without one. This is the part I did not expect to like as much as I do. The boardwalk runs along the water, and walking it does something to your pace. You slow down, people are not rushing here, even at the end of a workday. There are seats built right at the edge, facing the water. You can sit down with a coffee and just look at Manhattan for 20 minutes. Behind that, there is a lawn, real lawn for sitting on. People bring blanket, a book, lunch. On a decent afternoon, it fills up and it still does not feel crowded. Now the black steel structure at the water's edge. Those are the gantries the park is named for. They are industrial equipment. Rail cars used to roll on and off barges right here. When this whole waterfront was freight, not apartments. They were kept and restored instead of scrapped. And the Pepsi-Cola sign. That one is more than a photo op. It has stood on this waterfront since 1936. 60 feet tall, 120 feet long. It's set on top of the Pepsi bottling plant that closed in 1999. And in 2009, it was reassembled here in the park permanently. Here is the part that matters. In 2016, the city designated it an official landmark. That means it is protected. Every other piece of this skyline can change. That sign stays. That is what I like about this stretch. It is brand new and it still knows what it used to be. Question 3. What is the catch? There is one, and you should hear it from me rather than from a comment. I used to ride the 7 train through here every day in the early 90s. Back then, you look out the window at Long Island City and there was nothing. One tower, the Citibank building, standing by itself. Everything you just watched me walk through did not exist. So when I say this is a fresh, modern neighborhood, I mean I watched it get built. Most of what you are looking at along the waterfront went up in the last 20 years. That is why the parks are maintained end to end, why the walkways are wide, and why the whole area works as well as it does. It was designed that way. The trade-off is that it does not have the century-old layer that Sunnyside or Jackson Heights have. The corner store one family has run for 3 generations. That takes decades, and this waterfront has not had them yet. But here's the thing. Those neighborhoods are a few stops away on the 7. And here at 474 48th Avenue, you are sitting right on top of that. So you're not choosing between new Queens and old Queens. You get both. The waterfront, the green space, and the Manhattan views at your front door, and 100 years of Queens 15 minutes down the track. A neighborhood like this is still deciding what it wants to be. You're not moving into a finished place. You're moving in while it is becoming one. So that is Long Island City Waterfront. One stop to Grand Central, 2 parks at the end of the block, a restaurant strip on Center Boulevard, Errands on Vernon, a public library in between, and a monthly cost you should sit down and calculate properly before you decide anything. I'm Claudia LOOI. I sell homes in these neighborhoods. Text me at 347-612-2964. That number is on your screen. Or book a time on my consultation page. The link is in the description. And hit subscribe. Every week I make videos like this about living in Queens. See you in the next one.